I'm Jim Heath reporting. Tonight on News Desk 83, a special live remote from upstairs and a visit with Hayle Ryan. Doris Heath fires back about another Heath political issue and skepticism tonight about Marianne Dalton's presidency. Stay tuned. News Desk 83 is next.
Is News Desk 83 with Jim Heath reporting.
Welcome back to News Desk 83. We have a live remote coming up from upstairs and a visit with Hayle Ryan and Darby, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, as we begin our fall season here at News Desk 83, we are going to be touching again with election news. It seems that our program always centers around election news, and we begin our program tonight with an interview with our current Judge Doris Heath, who was got 7 votes of confidence in the last presidential election, 2 no votes. And as you recall in that election, one of the questions was questionable, and it looks like it's going to be put again on the ballot this December. And the question was, should the position of judge be on the next Heath presidential ballot? Now, some people thought that this meant that there would no longer be a judge. And some people thought that it meant that Doris Heath would be judge forever. A little controversy going on there. First, Mrs. Heath, a 2-part question. I have to ask you, didn't you believe in the interviews that I had with you before the election, before the ballots were counted? It sounded to me as though you knew that you knew what the question was really intended to mean. It sounded like you knew that what it meant was the judge would no longer be on the ballot, that you would not continue as judge forever. That's how I thought that you had thought it meant. And the second question is, how do you think you've been doing as judge? Certainly no controversial issues have come up except one, and that one you put on the ballot. So 2 questions there. Take it away.
Mr. Heath, I want to thank you, and I believe I have the answers to your questions. I believe the first question was about the judgeship on the ballot, and yes, I did understand. I thought you explained that quite adequately, and other than that, I have nothing else to say. On the other question of my judgeship, I feel I have done pretty well. I have acquired a fan for the media room, which was badly needed. I think I have performed the moderate jobs quite well. Other than that, there really hasn't been any big project to work on. But if one does come up, I am quite sure I will be able to handle it.
Do you think you'll be able to handle it as well, excuse me for interrupting, handle it as well as you did the grab-on-grapple issue, or was that a rare case?
That was a rare case, Jim. No, I'm quite sure I will do much better than that.
Quickly, real quick, how do you think Marianne's been doing as president?
Well, very ineffective so far, but I guess we have to take into consideration that she is expecting an addition to her family, and probably that is foremost in her mind right now. We might consider putting on the ballot maybe something about this condition.
Well, Mrs. Heath, that is a very interesting proposition there, having something on the way of maternity, and we'll bring that up, and possibly that would be on the next ballot this December. Once again, Mrs. Heath, Judge of the Heath House, thanks for sitting by. Well, right now we go live to upstairs and see what's happening with the new arrival in the Heath family, Ms. Hayle Ryan Heath. And for that, live upstairs. Okay, you're seeing live pictures of our live remote, News Desk 83, upstairs, and there she is, the beautiful newcomer and addition to the Heath family, Miss Hayle Ryan. And there, of course, is her mother, Darby. And let's see if we can get some sound up there.
What, Mom?
I don't know, always getting something in the refrigerator leaks over everything.
How old is she now at this point?
10 weeks.
All over the floor.
10 weeks. A month and a week. 2 months and a week. Hi, Hayle. Hi, Hayle. What are you doing?
Of course, Darby explaining that Hayle is only 10 weeks old, and now Darby's going to put her Snoopy blanket in the bedroom, and there she is. Notice the action and the movement that she makes, which is a little bit unusual for a 10-week-old baby, because usually they're still down and quite quiet, but this one is on the move. That is the cutest baby, not just because I'm her uncle, but that is the cutest baby I've ever seen, and I think you'll agree with that. Well, finally tonight, exactly 3 weeks before the last presidential election in July, the Heath Broadcasting Network media came out and endorsed Marianne Dalton for the presidency. And up to that point, the Heath media had endorsed no losing candidates, and Marianne won. But now we're asking ourselves, for what reason? Marianne, admittedly, was the first candidate who came out with a controversial platform that caused emotion in the Heath family. Fines or Farts was the perfect opportunity to let new political parties form so that the Heath family could voice political opinion. Well, Marianne won that election, not only because of her platform, but because she promised new blood and new meaning into the Heath presidency. Well, up to this point, the media has not come out and accused Marianne of non-productiveness. After all, the media did endorse her strongly, and we had planned to back her in her troubled days of this new and controversial Fines or Farts program. However, in hearing nothing from the president in 3 months, the media just has to wonder how serious this Heath president really is. The media now predicts that this same type of presidency of non-productiveness will exist in this administration. It will be just like the other 3, and if that is going to be fact, then this media organization will stop at no end to find yet another Heath presidential political candidate in the next December election until finally we find someone that is willing to sacrifice enough time to carry on a proven, necessary tradition. Until next week, have a good week. I'm Jim Heath.